What if the most important moment of a war wasn't a battle? After 4 years of fighting, tens of thousands of lives lost, and a nation tore apart. But the Civil War didn't end with a final charge. It ended in a small village, and you can see that behind me. In a quiet room, between two men. So what really happened here at Appomattox? Stay tuned to find out. You hear that? That's the echoes of freedom. What's up, historians? Today we're standing in Appomattox Court House, Virginia, in Appomattox, Virginia, the place where the Civil War effectively came to an end. Not with a massive battle, but with a meeting, right here in this building behind me. By April of 1865, the Confederacy was collapsing. General Robert E. Lee's Army of Northern Virginia, once one of the most powerful fighting forces in the world, was outnumbered, starving, and running out of options. Union General Ulysses S. Grant had been pressing Lee's army for months, cutting off supply lines. Sorry about that. Cutting off supply lines and forcing them west. Lee's goal was simple: reach supplies in Lynchburg or link up with other Confederate forces. But he never quite made it. As Lee's army retreated, Union forces surrounding them near this small village of Appomattox. So they started swarming in. Union was on all sides, trapping Lee here in this village. Lee realizes he's going to have no other choices. So on April the 9th of 1865, Lee decides to surrender his army. Further fighting, he knew that further fighting would mean unnecessary loss of life. And that's why he made the decision that would become his legacy. He chose to surrender. And that's where this place comes into play, the McLean House. The meeting took place right here in the home of resident William McLean. And here's something almost unbelievable. McLean moved here to escape the war. His first home had been near Bull Run, where the first battle of the war took place. And he didn't want to be part of it, so he moved here to the quiet town of Appomattox. And the war ended in his front parlor. In fact, this room right here with the window kind of up where I'm pointing, on the left side of the house here, right inside that room, is where the Civil War comes to an end. That afternoon, Lee arrived in full uniform, dignified and composed. Grant came in muddy from the field, wearing a simple uniform. The contrast was striking, but what mattered most wasn't appearance, it was what happened next. Grant offered generous terms. Confederate soldiers would be allowed to return home, officers could keep their sidearms, and soldiers could keep their horses for spring planting. And perhaps most importantly, there would be no punishment for treason. Lee accepted these terms, and with that, the Civil War came to an end. This moment mattered not just because the fighting stopped, but because of how it stopped. Grant understood something critical. The country had come back together. It wasn't about humiliation, it was about reconciliation. Lee's surrender didn't end every battle immediately, but it triggered a chain reaction. Within weeks, other Confederate armies surrendered, and the war was finally over. The Union was preserved. Slavery soon after would be abolished with the 13th Amendment. So, standing here at Appomattox, it's quiet, it's peaceful, and that's exactly what makes it powerful. Because this is where a war ended, a nation began to heal, and the future of the United States changed forever. Not through one final shot, but through a decision. So remember, historians, sometimes the most important moments in history aren't fought, they're chosen. And it was chosen right here at Appomattox Court House. I'm Smith McNeil, and I will see you all on the next adventure.